In this video, I'm going to tell you what racing boots the 20 F1 drivers wear. I can tell you straight up that there are 4 manufacturers providing these boots. One provides boots for 9 drivers, another for 7, one for 2, and the final one for 2 as well. More in a moment. Racing boots worn by F1 drivers need to be fire retardant, and they have to undergo significant tests and be proven to withstand a certain period of time at a certain heat. But they also need to be lightweight, because any extra weight in the cockpit means slower lap times. They need to have a grippy sole that is as thin as possible. They need padding under the heel for comfort when manipulating the pedals, and there is very little room in the footwell, so they can't be wide. As such, the boots are tight-fitting with a hardened insert around the heel because they need to support the foot. Of course, you can buy standard racing boots at any motoring shop, and probably for under a couple of €100. But there'll be consumer versions. In the Pro versions, there is no leather. Instead, they use faux suede or another fire-retardant material. And they have a high ankle. With that said, what are the drivers wearing? I'm going to start with our world champion, Lewis Hamilton, who wears Puma Speed Cats. So having a look at Lewis's boots, they're lace-ups, and he has a simple number 44 as the personalisation on them. Here's Lewis's boots from 2020. No, stop. That's 2019, when he had his signature on the back and his logo on the side. His teammate Valtteri Bottas, once again, Puma Speed Cats. Slightly different colour variation, and he has his VB logo on them. Going back to 2019, this was Valtteri's design, where he had both the VB and the 77, and his logo, as you will note, has changed since then. Max Verstappen wears Speed Cats too. They're lace-ups, and his personalisation is just simply the number 33, and these are bright. Not to be outdone, Sergio Perez also has some bright boots. Yellow, as you can see here, number 11 on the side. He has his Sergio Perez logo on the back of the boots, and Red Bull also gets a mention, as it does on Max's boots. My favourite boots in the paddock would belong to this man, Daniel Ricciardo. They are so far removed from everyone else's boots that you can't help but notice them. Pastel colours, as you can see, made by Alpinestars, although you wouldn't know it because there is no overt branding on these. Instead, the branding is all Daniel's. But Daniel's always been quite adventurous with his boots, and for certain occasions has had special versions made. For instance, for Austin, he had these that looked like cowboy boots. He's had some Australian ones for the Melbourne GP going back a couple of years ago. And if you have a look inside, you can see here that the manufacturer puts a tag, DR119. And slightly out of focus up here is the FIA logo, proving that these are approved to be worn in a race. And these boots are from a Mexican race with the Day of the Dead theme. His teammate Lando Norris also has some colourful boots, although in testing, he's seen here wearing a pair of Sparkos, very plain, but now he's wearing these colourful Alpinestars with the Velcro instead of the laces. On these boots, he's, as you can see, got his logo. He's got his number 4 on the toes. He's got a facsimile of the Union Jack there on the Velcro bit, and he's got the papaya for his McLaren link. The Alpine drivers wear Alpinestars. Well, we'll call them Alpinestars because that's what we're conditioned to call them. These don't have laces, they have Velcro. And having a closer look at Fernando's when he was on the grid, standing waiting for the national anthem, I kept seeing just the number 4, and I'm thinking, is that a misprint or are they dirty? But if you zoom in, well, if I zoom in for you, you can see the 1, but it is certainly not visible that easily, is it? And of course, he's got the Spanish flag colours on there, some bold Alpinestars logos, 1, 2, 3, at least 4, because I think there's one on the back as well. Esteban's are primarily black as well, but with his logo on it and on the Velcro strap, his logo is the longest of any of the drivers, EO31, and the French flag colours here. If you're on a budget and still want to eat well, consider switching your main meal of the day from dinner to lunch. Lunches are often cheaper, and it's much easier on your waistline as your body has longer to digest the food before you hit the sack. For the Ferrari drivers, they're wearing Puma Speed Cats, and quite frankly, they could be wearing each other's boots because there's really no personalisation on either of them They're bright red, as you can see, standard lace-ups. And I would have thought they would have had a little bit more personalisation, because if we go back to Charles's boots that he was wearing when he was back at Sauber, you can clearly see here that he's got his name written on them. What about the boys from the green team? What are they wearing? Well, Lance Stroll is wearing Puma Speed Cats with no personalisation for him, but there is an Aston Martin logo on the ankle. Sebastian normally wears Alpine Stars, but I have seen pictures on the net of him also in those Puma Speed Cats with the Aston Martin logo on the back. And I can't tell you what the deal is with that, but Britta tells me that he is normally wearing Alpine Stars. The AlphaTauri boys, both Pierre and Yuki, wear Alpine Stars, and they have lots of AlphaTauri branding upon them, but there is a little bit of customisation on the heel of each driver's shoe. And as you can see on this shot of Pierre's boots, you can see the flag, you see his name and the AlphaTauri logo. But Pierre has also worn Puma in the past. And as you can see, there's a fair bit of wear and tear on the outside of his right boot. And if you have a look at here, this is another detail I picked up. This is his shoelaces, and at the end he has the colours of the French flag. But he's also worn white boots with AlphaTauri. And going back to the red and blue boots he wore here, you can see underneath there is some grip, which is vital inside the cockpit when you need grip on those pedals. I'll go through the final two Alpine Star wearing drivers. They are the boys from Haas, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. And with Mick Schumacher, his boots do up with Velcro. These are blue suede shoes with at least 5 Alpine Star logos on them, but the personalisation, as you can see, is his number. And uniquely, he's the only driver with his signature on them. Though I would stand corrected. I'm going to go back and have a look at Lewis's. I have seen on some of my photos he's wearing boots with his signature on them, but I think they're from past years. So that's Mick, but here's Nick in some bright red Alpine Stars, and once again the number in a similar position to Mick, and he has both his logo and his signature on the in and outside of his boot. So we had 9 Alpine Star wearers, 7 Puma wearers, and there were 2 other manufacturers providing boots for 1 team each. So if we go to OMP, they provide boots for the Williams drivers, and virtually identical, quite frankly. I can't see much to separate either of these. They don't, by the way, have Velcro or laces. They have this ratcheting system. And if the boys wore the same size boots, there's nothing stopping them, I guess, swapping them, because they're exactly the same. Although something interesting here, when you go back to Bahrain last year, when George stepped into Lewis's car, there was such little room in the footwell that instead of George having to wear his size 11s, he was advised to drop a size and wear 10s, which would have been very tight and allowed him, I'm guessing, a few extra millimetres down in that footwell. And the final manufacturer is Sparco. They provide the boots for both of the Alfa Romeo drivers. Kimi has the number 7 bold on his shoes, and Antonio Giovinazzi the number 99. Straying a little bit, last year, 2020, these were the boots that Romain Grosjean had made for the Australian GP. Unfortunately, never got to wear them in the car, just on media day. A look at Nico Hülkenberg's boots for the Monaco GP in 2019. And here's a flashback for Sergio back to 2019 with those dreadful pink BWT boots. They don't look very stylish. Daniel Ricciardo's Monaco design from 2019 and George Russell's boots from 2019. This was actually taken at eye level because I was waiting for the drivers to take off on the flatbed truck that takes them around to do their drivers parade. And of course we don't have that anymore, and if we did, I'm not sure we'd be able to get very close to it. There you have the race boots of the 20 F1 drivers. The boots, yes, they are vital safety equipment, they are important promotional items, and they are a fashion statement for some. But I'm delighted that you stayed all the way through this video, which comes to you with the compliments of Canity.com, the world's best online staff training. You can find all of my pictures at prostarpics.com, and you can download them for personal or editorial use. Hey, have you liked the video? You should, if you like it. Hit the subscribe button, that's important for the algorithm and so that you get to see my videos. And if you want to be notified the moment a video goes up, just click the bell. If you haven't yet got one of my F1 driver photo books, I urge you to get one of them at kimellman.com. I ship them to almost everywhere in the world, and for my best pics live from the track and during the week from beautiful places like this courtyard in Barcelona, head to Instagram and search at Kim Ellman. Thanks for watching, and stay passionate. Oh, and there's an Easter egg in this video for one observant person. Maybe it's you.